Hey Geminis, I'm Island Turtle. Welcome to BOMISpirit. This is a monthly general tarot reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Couldn't even get out of my mouth. Um, it is late. It is late as I'm doing this. Geminis, I've been trying to do your reading for a couple days, and every time counterference, every time I try to sit down and do it, I feel avoidance, and then I'm like, I'm just not gonna do it right now. I'll just do it when it feels right. And then I tried it and I tried to do it, and it's like, okay, it's not me, it's Gemini. Gemini, you're avoiding something. You or someone in your field is avoiding something. There's avoidance going on in your field. So where it honestly feels like you're trying to avoid something that's unavoidable. That's kind of how it feels to me. You're trying to avoid something that's unavoidable. There might be something changing. There might be something that needs to like transition. But yeah, it's like you're avoiding the unavoidable. It's just how it keeps coming through. They did say Jupiter really loud. So right now Jupiter's in Aries in Tropic. That could pertain to your chart. I would definitely check to see what Jupiter's doing in your natal chart. Even where your natal Jupiter is might be really important. Or you could be dealing with the Sag. You could have Sag in your chart. But like, yeah, Jupiter was coming through really strong. So let's go ahead and see what's going on for you. Geminis, know that there's a part 2 to your reading over on Patreon. It's also on Vimeo. Check out the links down below if you're curious about the part 2. What else did I want to mention? These are monthlies because I do them once every 30 days or so per sign. It's not like for the month of March or April or February or whatever. It's once every 30 days or so. Clydester, school's you. All right. But yeah, Geminis. Let's go ahead and dive in. Normally I start with an oracle deck or I start with my animal deck. I'm actually feeling just to dive straight into tarot. So just following it. So let's just do it. I'm going to start the spell casting deck. Interesting. Devil and the Ten of Swords on the cut. You're avoiding the unavoidable. Oh, I just got really sad. It's got really sad. Any messages or insights for my Geminis? And Clyde is getting rambunctious. Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. He's like, pay attention to me. Any messages or insights for Gemini? Sun, Moon, Rising. I haven't worked with this deck in a bit. It's interesting because, like, it's so flimsy? Malleable is a better word. It's very malleable, which kind of reminds me about you Geminis. Like, you guys are air mutable. You can be very malleable, but I do find like Geminis that have like strong Taurus in their chart, not necessarily so malleable. I don't know, I felt the need to say that. Maybe you got a lot of Taurus in your chart. You never need to deal with a Taurus. Clydester. He's being so stubborn. Buddy, I'm working. Any messages or insights for my Geminis? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or Jupiter? Yeah, Jupiter. The second I said Jupiter, like I felt that Jupiter energy again. Definitely check what Jupiter's doing in your natal chart. Most definitely. Jupiter in the tarot is the Wheel of Fortune. It's also Temperance. But I feel like you're avoiding the unavoidable. And so to me, I think it speaks more to that like Wheel of Fortune energy, that like things are shifting, things might be growing, things might be expanding, but things are definitely not staying as they are. They never do, really. But why are you avoiding it so hard? Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Really, Gemini? Oh, man. Really? 2 of Cups in reverse and the 9 of Cups in reverse. On the bottom, we have the Lovers. I mean, you're just starting strong right out of the gate. This could definitely be about a relationship. 2 of Cups in reverse with the 9 of Cups in reverse. There's a 7 of Cups at play. And especially with the 9 of Cups in reverse, it's disappointing. Something is disappointing, emotionally draining. I hate to say toxic, but not healthy. Not emotionally healthy or satisfying when it comes to a relationship. And with the 7 of Cups being there, yeah, it kind of speaks to that intoxication. It's funny because I attributed that more to Venus energy, but Jupiter is kind of like that too. Like shadowy Jupiter energy can be like illusionary and by extremes. What's Jupiter doing right now? I'm trying to remember. I know Venus is working with Uranus right now. Excuse me, I'm thirsty. But you got all cups here, Gemini. You got all cups and you have your card on the bottom. This to me feels like a relationship that's disappointing. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can even be a friendship. But there's the Seven of Cups energy is something that I don't really like. Because Seven of Cups can be illusion. It can be fantasy. So it can be really toxic, or it can be very dreamy. But this isn't the good kind of dreamy. This is like something that's not working out. Something that's imbalanced and emotionally unhealthy. Again, it can be a friendship. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can even be family. Are you avoiding this truth? Are you avoiding the truth here, Gemini? Oh. Seven of Wands and Nine of Swords. I feel sadness behind this. It's definitely a really guarded energy. It's a guarded, like, I'm up in my head, I'm stressed out, I'm anxious. Because deep down, you know, you're avoiding the reality that something is emotionally not healthy for you. And you're avoiding it, but you can't avoid it. That's what I'm saying. You're trying to avoid it, but it's unavoidable because you're all up in your head about it. You're stressed out about it. And guarded. I keep getting guarded too. Guarded. Guarded. Any other messages or insights from my Gemini? I love you too, mister. Will you let me work now, please? Any messages or insights from my Geminis? Sun, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. God, we don't get like straight out of the gate relationship reads like this too often. For anybody who's new, don't forget to drop a like, by the way. Please drop a like. Pretty please. Please drop a like if you're liking this anyway, or a comment. It does help the video circulate. Page of Cups. It landed in the middle of everything. It landed like this in the middle of the Seven of Wands and the Nine of Cups in reverse. Page of Cups is emotion. It also can be communication, but it's like, it's a very honest, very, very honest, very pure, maybe not like the most intellectual or the most tactful, eloquent is the word I want to say, the most eloquent form of emotional expression. Some of you, this is really affecting your inner child. Clyde, star. Clyde, please, come on. Come on. I feel like you genuinely really, really wanted this to work out. I feel like you very genuinely like have like very purest of emotions about it, like very pure, like good feelings about it. I think that's why it's coming out as the page. I think that's why the page is coming out here. I'm sorry, give me a second. Clyde, I love you, but please get down. Please, 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 please. Thank you. It's distracting me. It's funny because I feel like you're avoiding it, so it's like I keep getting distracted and I'm like, no, I'm like trying to come back here. Yeah. I feel like you very genuinely want this. I feel like you very genuinely like want to be very hopeful for this, but I think you can't deny the reality. I hate to say that, but yeah, I feel like you can't deny the reality. There could even be apologies that need to happen here with the Page of Cups, the Seven of Wands, and the Nine of Swords. But I do feel like there's honest communication happening. I do feel like there's this very honest, like, you know, how you've been kind of feeling, how you've been kind of dealing with it, when you're ready to be honest about it, when you're ready to not avoid it anymore. When you're ready to not avoid it. Some of you do need to apologize. Sorry, I'm just going to come out and say it. Some of you do need to apologize to some... Mister, I fed you. I know you're not hungry. I know your litter's clean. I know you have water. Come on. Geminis. Sorry. God, the distractions. Some of you definitely need to apologize. Some of you need to apologize because maybe you were very defensive or seriously? Some of you need to apologize because maybe you were very defensive about something and now you're all up in your head about it. And it's led to a very imbalanced, unhealthy sort of a situation between you and another person. That could totally be the case here. He's just all over the place. But it's the key is the Page of Cups. The key is the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups will allow you to not avoid this anymore, to not avoid the reality of what it is you feel and the reality of what it is that you're actually working with here. The guardedness is you just being in avoidance. That's all it is. It's you being in avoidance. So whether you need to come out and apologize or you just need to come to terms with how you really feel and come to terms with the fact that, you know what, I really had good intentions here. I really had hopes for this, but it's really not working out. And it's unfortunate and it makes me sad, but it is what it is, right? So, buddy, please. Sorry, guys. So no more avoiding, no more distractions. However, you need to move into the Page of Cups to be honest with yourself about the situation or to apologize, because there's some of you that do need to apologize here. Find a way to get to the Page of Cups, okay? Let's keep going. But if you're gonna stay in this room, you gotta chill. If he does it again, I gotta kick him out. I'll give him one more because I just said it. Any other messages or insights from my Geminis? Any other messages or insights from my Geminis? Three of Swords in reverse. Any other messages or insights from my Geminis? Wow, yeah, I'm sniffing an apology. Lovers with the Three of Swords in reverse, and it landed on the Page of Cups. So Geminis, you can't avoid this anymore. You got to come clean. Some of you guys, I feel like, have really been stressed out about this, and I feel like been quiet about it. You've been quiet about your feelings about this. You've been quiet about the fact that something has been emotionally unhealthy or imbalanced. I'm sorry, give me a second. I got to kick him out. Sorry. Clyde, don't dead weight me. Come on. Come on. All right, sorry, Geminis. All right, I'm back. And yes, I'm in my PJs. Okay. So, Geminis, you've been suffering silently about this. And with the Seven of Wands, with the Nine of Swords, you know, I'm going to be honest, some of you guys have been defensive. Some of you guys have kind of been your ego about it, especially those of you where there needs to be an apology that takes place here. But mostly you've just been avoiding the obvious. You've been avoiding that something has been disappointing. You've been avoiding the fact that you have a lot of hope and a lot of really yummy emotions for whatever this has been /was /could have been is kind of how it wants to come out, whether this is about a romance or this is about a friendship or a family relationship. But Page of Cups is the key here to the Three of Swords in reverse and the Lovers. Lovers also speaks of a choice, and it speaks of balance. It's literally rectifying the Two of Cups in reverse to go upright, right? The key is to talk. The key is to be honest. The key is to come clean and be like, hey, here's how I feel. I recognize how things are. This is what I wanted. Right? And I also recognize that I've been in this state. Maybe I've been guarded. Maybe I've been a little in my ego. Some of you, there's a little bit of silent treatment going on. But you know what? I haven't been happy. It's been stressing me out. So let's just be honest. Overall, we have the Page of Wands with the Eight of Pentacles. Oh, Five of Swords. Empress. With the Queen of Pentacles, okay. Oh, I'm liking this. And the Magician and the Sun. Oh, Gemini, yeah, just talk. Just talk. Just talk. The Five of Swords, I got a little, because Page of Wands with the Eight of Pentacles and the Five of Swords, I mean, this could go very quickly from like, hey, let's talk, to getting in your ego about it. But the Five of Swords also speaks of determination. It's not just about, I'm right. You know, it's not just about that kind of energy. It's, I will do this at all costs. I'll come through at all costs. The Page of Wands is excited energy. It's like, hey, let's have a new adventure. It's very playful, especially with the Page of Cups and the Page of Wands. It's like, that's kind of nice. But the Eight of Pentacles and the Five of Swords, it's basically saying like, let's come clean and let's be serious about it. But it still has this like playfulness behind it. And underneath the Five of Swords, look, We got the Empress with the Queen of Pentacles. Now, some readers would go, oh, it's pages to, pages to a Queen Empress. It's like not the same level. It's not the same maturity. That's not always the case. Pages are really honest. Pages are about new ways of looking at something, or they speak to a new path that's opening up, that's being spoken about, or that's being touched on. And that's really what I feel here. I don't feel an immaturity thing. I feel a very pure, very honest, like unfiltered. Actually, that's the best way to say it. Yeah, very unfiltered. And the fact that like the Empress is coming out with the Queen of Pentacles and the Magician and the Sun, this is like totally new beginning here. Totally new beginning. Whatever needs to be discussed here, it really just feels like a coming clean. Even if the coming clean is like, hey, I'm sorry this isn't working, or I'm sorry this didn't work, or whatever. Or if the coming clean is like, hey, I really had hopes for A, B, C, D, E, and I'm willing to, go the extra mile here. And maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, maybe it falls away completely, or maybe there's a huge turnaround here, but communication is the key, and what you're avoiding is talking about it. That's what you're avoiding. But look at what can happen if you talk about it. Magician and the Sun, that's like literally I can make anything happen, especially with the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress out of this whole situation. And literally the key is the Page of Cups. That is the key. Wow. Okay, Geminis. Interesting. Now that has been spoken on, I do feel kind of drawn to the animals again. Or do I? I don't, actually. Energy Oracle cards. We'll do the Energy Oracle cards and we'll get into part 2. We're going to dive deeper into that Page of Cups energy. Because that page, I keep telling you, like, it's so clear. Page of Cups, that is the key. That's the key to undoing this Nine of Swords. Okay? Now, maybe someone else has to be honest here, because this is clearly about a relationship. Man holding a heart in the Temple Path. Temple Path is a path that is aligned to your soul. Again, it doesn't have to be romance. It can be a friendship. It can be a work relationship. It can be family. But it's literally like, I'm unhappy with how things have went. Whether I'm at fault or whether you're at fault, right? But time to just be honest about everyone's true intentions, what everyone really wants, and just come clean about it. Unfiltered. And really the key here is like unfiltered honesty. Any messages or insights for Gemini pertaining to the spread? Interesting, the crown chakra card wanted to come out. You could have like a very strong telepathic connection here with this individual. 111 on the crazy clock when I said that. Strategy in reverse. That was over here with the 7 of Wands and the 9 of Swords. Again, Gemini, you're avoiding. Strategy in reverse is avoidance, right? That's literally like, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to pretend like this isn't happening. That is strategy in reverse. Avoidance. Five of Swords energy with hostilities. So yeah, I mean, Gemini, I just got to call a spade. And if this is like someone else, this isn't your energy, then you know 1550. Oh, no, not 1551. Are my contacts in? No, they are. It's like 1851. But someone's been in their ego here. It's really clear. Someone's been in their ego and they've been avoiding. Look at that. Hostilities with strategy in reverse. Wow, on the Page of Cups, we got cornucopia with the energy with the number 11. Cornucopia is about that good life. That's what I've been calling it. Like instead of abundance, it's that good life where life feels full. Life feels really rich. Life just feels good. There's a plethora going on in life. That's what cornucopia is. That's what abundance is. I want to get away from this embedded programmed association we have with that word abundance. I think so many people look at it as financial, but it's not. It's literally feeling like life is so full. It is literally a plethora of the good life. On the Page of Cups, that's what I'm telling you. The Page of Cups is key. Come clean, Gemini. Come clean. If you're the one who got in their ego about something and you're avoiding the fact that you've been in your ego about something, It come clean. Yeah, healer of ages to heal the situation. Whatever the results are. But I feel like this is more so to unburden you. Gemini, the person who got in their ego, they're burdened. They're in the Nine of Swords. Okay? Excuse me. They're burdened. They're avoiding, but they're burdened. Nine of Swords. They're not stress-free. Okay? That's a very anxious-ridden energy. And all it takes to lift that burden is to come clean. Regardless of the consequences, it's just gonna heal. It's gonna heal. It's gonna put things back into balance. Even if maybe you don't get the outcome that you're hoping for, at least you'll be relieved of the burden, right? Any other messages or insights for Gemini? World in reverse. And I want to be on the Two of Cups in reverse. The World in reverse is looking at the world literally through like a small lens, is what this card speaks of. Having a very small view of things, or even attached view of things. Not seeing the bigger picture. I think, Gemini, again, if you're the one who's in your ego about this and you're avoiding, I think that you're viewing this situation like this, like not salvageable. I think that's how you look at it. Like, not salvageable. There's a little bit of being very stuck in how you're looking at it, and maybe even looking at how something might have played out, which could also explain why you're in your ego and you're avoiding, right? Because, like, when we get into that hostilities energy and the Nine of Swords, it's because we're attached. We're attached to looking at things a certain way, or we're attached to certain beliefs of how things have been, and that's kind of what I'm feeling here. But while, again, whoever's in their ego, oh, the star just wanted to take a little peek out. Whoever's in their ego is looking at this through such a small lens like that. But I want to say that could also be part of the illusion too. That maybe it's salvageable. Again, the whole point here is to relieve yourself of your burden. That's the whole point. No matter what happens, that's the point. Any other messages or insights for my Geminis pertaining to this spread? Interesting, because I don't really see the other person here. Wow, and the sun on the world. Yeah, Gemini, if you're avoiding and you're the one in your ego, and all you got to do is just unburden yourself. I mean, you're literally going to go from being in the dark to being in the light. You're going to go from imbalance to balance. You're going to go from feeling burdened to feeling liberated. Even if, again, you don't get out of this what maybe you were initially wanting. I'm also noticing, too, the 29 on the world, 11 and 1 and 11. 11's pretty significant here. Yeah. Let's see what else wants to come out for my Geminis. For those of you, if this isn't about a specific relationship, this is just something that was just coming in for a group of you. If this isn't about a specific relationship, for some of you, it's actually this belief, this narrative you have, Gemini, that relationships don't work. That relationships don't work. And if that's the case, and you have this belief about your life, this narrative about your life, that relationships don't work, or they're disappointing, or they become toxic, then you've been suffering and also being very closed off. And if that's the case, I'm getting a little bit more of like a heart shock, like a closed heart chakra, and very guarded and anxious against relationships. And all you got to do is get into the inner child, baby. Get into the inner child and get into what it is that you really want, and come clean with yourself about it to heal that, and come back to the good life and being open to the possibility of relationships of any kind. Okay. Any other messages or insights? Yeah, Gemini, sorry, they brought me back to the world in reverse with the sun. You don't see the sun. You don't see it. You don't see it. You don't see it. You don't see it. Some of you might have a twinge, like maybe, and then it's like you kind of talk yourself into this this ego, Nine of Swords, triggered ego. People have been so triggered. It's funny. So to say, triggered ego. People have been so triggered that I'm using the word ego. Goodness. It's funny. Yeah, people have been very triggered that I've been using the word ego. Goodness, you guys know what I mean. It's like when we're talking about it like in this context, we're talking about people who are triggered, obviously, right? Do I need to explain that? I don't think I need to explain that. But anyway, yeah, Gemini, being in this triggered state, in this very honestly sad. I am feeling sadness there. And maybe you got to do a little grief releasing, because you do have the Three of Swords here in reverse implying healing. And again, I keep getting the heart chakra. Yeah, whether you view relationships as always being a disaster or not working out or becoming toxic, and then you've gotten in this very guarded, defensive place when really you're stressed and you're anxious about it and you're sad about it, get into the inner child. Get into the inner child and be honest with yourself. Like, if people approach you, like, to have, like, form a friendship or a working relationship or romantic relationship, I wouldn't be surprised if it just automatically triggers you. But you don't see that you actually have the sun. You don't see that you can actually turn that around, whether it's about how you view relationships or a relationship in particular. Overall, we got the thinking woman. Not surprised you're coming out like that. Gemini. Yeah, the garden and the gate in reverse. That speaks of safety, feelings of safety and security. Yeah, financial constraints with community. Yeah, and heading in the wrong direction. This is what you think. Thinking woman with garden and the gate in reverse. Financial constraints is like a 5 of Pentacles energy, feeling alone. Feeling isolated. This is speaking to struggling with the feelings of being safe. Going into the unknown or not, dealing with the familiar or not, but feeling alone when it comes to people, feeling alone when it comes to community, feeling alone when it comes to emotional support from tribe or relationships. And you're looking at this particular person and you're like, you wanted it to work, and maybe you got in your ego, triggered ego. Maybe you got triggered. And now it's time to just come clean and like come back to the table with them, right? Others of you, this is you turning a corner on your narrative about relationships or a specific type of relationships and what it has been like for you and the loneliness of it. You feel alone. 7 of Wands, the 9 of Swords. In the context of all of this, that's somebody who feels alone and feels they have to be guarded and protect themselves. Maybe you fear abandonment. Maybe you fear betrayal. Maybe you just don't trust people anymore. But that's where all this is stemming from. Okay? Yeah, and community underneath that Temple path in reverse. It's like being worried that certain relationships lead you in the wrong direction too. All right, Geminis, I'm going to head into part 2. I will see you guys over there. If you guys are leaving us here, I hope this was very helpful and insightful. So Geminis, like I said, the key is the Page of Cups. Dive into the Page of Cups energy. Dive into your inner child if you have to. Come clean with yourself. Don't avoid this anymore. It's tension. So some of you guys are like a little lost as to how to even start. Start with your tension. Because you clearly have tension internally or some sort of stress or anxiety. It's like when we're holding on to energy, whether it's just like hurt or stress or angst or whatever, like when we're holding on to energy like that, it affects us physically. And we hold it in our bodies, and we can hold that tension. And sometimes it's mental tension. Sometimes we just like overthink and overwhelm our brains. Sometimes our backs are hurt, our necks will hurt. Sometimes, I don't know, insert other. There's all kinds of ways it can manifest in the body. And just energetically, our energy can feel more like that as opposed to like free flowing and relax. Start with your tension. Start with that. What's really sitting there? What is it that you're really feeling? Because you've been avoiding it. You've clearly been avoiding it. Okay? All right, moving on to part 2. I will see you guys later. Don't forget to check out the website, Patreon, and Vimeo, and have a great night, Geminis.